Hello everyone. In the previous video, we looked at the general idea of DP on trees and we looked at 4 simple steps to solve any DP on trees problem. In this video, I'll show you how to implement any DP on trees problem without getting confused. So do watch this video till the end to understand how DP on trees can be made very simple, especially the implementation. So in the implementation of DP on trees, you should always keep an n which represents the maximum number of nodes in the tree. You should have the adjacency list and you should basically read in the graph in the format which it is given. Then you should have a DFS function. This is the default DFS on trees method. However, for the DP on trees code, we need to modify this DFS method and we need to modify our code a little bit more. So what we need to do is we need to store the DP values for each node. So in this case, when we worked out the logic on paper, we use the variable subtree size. So let's keep a global variable subtree size of n, which is the DP values we compute. Then we basically call DFS on 1 with no parent, and this DFS actually computes all the DP values in the DP table, and in the end we need to print the output which they are asking us to print, and what they are asking us to print is the subtree size of each node minus 1, and that's what we'll print. And now what we need to do is we need to compute the DP values actually in our DFS function. So to do that, we'll use 3 simple steps. The first step is the base case. The base case, as said in the logic, is that for a leaf node, we need to set the DP value for the leaf node to be 1. So if is leaf of u, we set the subtree size of u or the DP value for u to be 1 and we return. Now we need to write the helper method is leaf, and is leaf is actually very simple. We just need to check if u is not equal to the root, which is 1, and the adjacency list of u has a sign 1, has a size of 1, then u is a leaf, otherwise u is not a leaf. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I have to use an undirected graph. So always use an undirected graph to represent 3 problems, because the is leaf will be applicable in that case very easily, and the base case will actually be very simple and clear to you. Now for the second part, which is computing the DP values for each of its children. So this is part 2, computing DP values for each child, and part 3 will be computing the recursive case. So a lot of people actually club part 2 and part 3 together, but I would recommend writing them separately, because in harder DP on trees problems, you will actually need to write part 2 and part 3 separately. So in part 3, what you do is you basically use the recurrence. The recurrence was just subtree size of u is the sum of subtree size of v. So subtree size of u will increase by subtree size of v, and in the end subtree size of u will increase by 1. Now the advantage to keeping these 2 parts separate is that we basically compute the DP values first and then we find the DP value for the current child. In a different problem where the recurrence might be slightly different and might require you to do a different type of function, you will actually need to write this separately. In this problem, you could have clubbed them together, but in general, it's a better idea to write them separately. And it's also a good idea to write the base case, the part 2 and the recurrence separately, because although you could have actually removed this base case, what you could have actually done was basically written subtree size of u is 1 and then done the whole thing over here. But I would recommend against doing this code. This code would also get accepted, but I would recommend against doing this code, because the base case might differ from problem to problem, and this generalized template will work for any DP on trees problem. So now that we have looked at the 3 parts of the implementation for any DP on trees problem, Let's just try to run this code on the sample test cases and submit it to see if it gets accepted. So as you could see, my code got accepted. So in this video, we understood how to implement any DP on trees problem. The first step is to basically write the default code, which is basically taken in the input and writing the is leaf and the subtree sizes or the DP value table and the adjacency list and all of the other things. Then the main part where our action is taking place is the DFS function, because over here we are computing all the DP values, and this is obviously going to be the hardest part to write. However, I've made this very simple for you because you just need to fill in three parts, 3 points. The three parts are basically the base case. In most problem, it's going to be the base case is just going to be the leaf. So dp of leaf will be equal to something in most problems, and that will form a base case. Then the recursive case, which is point 3, will also most likely be something of the form adding all the dp values for each of its children, and that you should write separately from the second part, which is computing the dp values for each child. So if you follow these 3 points or these 3 steps for your DFS function, which computes the DP values, any DP on tree problem will be easily solved by you. So thank you for watching this video. In the next video, I'll be covering similar problems which build your intuition for finding the DP state and recurrence for DP on trees problem. Thank you.